So the origins of Black Box, I played Gaelic football and my GAA club got a grant to fit out a gym. And I remember the gym was done and there was a couple of treadmills and machines that wasn't really what I felt the club needed. So that planted the seed for me thinking there had to be something better out there. Started doing some research and there wasn't. Was very much into sort of functional or modified strongman training, sleds, prowlers. There's a guy, Joe DeFranco, who had a really cool sort of strength conditioning facility in America. Started searching for the equipment, couldn't find it. So in my wisdom, I downloaded some pictures from Google, put it on to adverts.ie, and then people started ringing me. And I didn't have the equipment at this stage, but like a challenge. And we talk about within Black Box, win then worry, and that was very much the origin of that mantra. And I just had to find a way to get the equipment. So I went to a welder, an engineer firm in Coleraine, and asked him to make the equipment, and he asked for engineering drawings. I didn't have any engineering drawings. I didn't know what engineering drawings were. I just showed him photos of the equipment and said, can you make this? And he did, and it went from there. We pivoted, we're selling supplements, foam rollers, but then in 2014 made a decision to double down and begin manufacturing, and we hired our first welder, bought a powder coating oven, and from the sort of origin idea, I always believe in never taking advantage. We talk about one of our core values being client obsession. You know, I would rather sell less equipment to someone, build a long-term relationship, as opposed to loads of equipment companies. Their mantra is sell as much as they can and run away and never go back to them, and that's something that we'll never do. The vision for the company, I guess, was just to be a one-stop shop for anyone who's interested in training or sports performance. I feel we sit in the intersection between fitness and sport, and we don't really believe in gimmicks, but we don't sell any products that we wouldn't use ourselves. And I guess we talk about equipment built for athletes by athletes, and that's a mantra that will stay true within the company. The most memorable moment, there's probably been a few highlights. Winning the PureGym contract, I feel, was a very good confidence booster for us. Winning the Adidas contract was another nice one. Moving back in 2017 to Titanic Quarter was cool. I used to actually run past Titanic Quarter before that and always dream of being based there. And then it became a reality, and then we very quickly outgrew that location. As much as we loved it, we just had to find a bigger space, which then we moved to our new headquarters in Monkstown, and it's been amazing to see everything come under one roof and have almost 100 team members there. Another memorable one was probably doing Irish Rugby's High Performance Centre. It was a very prestige project for us, obviously being based in Ireland and being able to do such a high-end facility was another personal highlight. The hardest thing with the pandemic was probably the uncertainty. We didn't know how long it was going to last. I think it caught everyone off guard. Everyone underestimated, the impact it was going to have. That's probably one of my most proudest things, is how we responded to that as a company, because I think the easy thing to do would have been just to shut up shop and put everyone on furlough and not do the hard work. But I'm glad we made that decision as a company not to do that. And look, it was a busy year for us last year, and it's been another busy year. So I would say it's probably one of the more proud moments. Moving to the headquarters, as good as it's been, probably wasn't the wisest thing to do in the middle of a pandemic when we were very busy, had a big order book. I think getting lots of our new machinery commissioned and functioning was a challenge. We had a lot of impatient clients and customers, and rightly so. People wanted their equipment, so I think just managing all of that. But again, the team responded really well. But supply chains are very stretched at the minute, and it has been a challenge and continues to be. If you said to me 10 years ago, would we have been able to achieve what we have, I would have laughed at you. So I think it's important to maybe celebrate the little wins and yeah, keep moving forward. So the reason we had to move headquarters, as much as we love Titanic Quarter, we just outgrew the space. We were spread across 4 different locations. We were working 24/6 shift pattern, and yeah, there was new members of the team joining, and they never even interacted with other members of the team. So yeah, it was a challenge finding a big enough headquarters, but thankfully we did. We moved just outside Belfast, and getting everyone under one roof and all of our new machines commissioned, I feel it gives us a huge, perfect platform to grow and hopefully become the #1 in Europe.
I'm Michael Murda. Was a head of welding at the time when we started, but now I'm at the head of painting and general dogs, bunny, and a bit of maintenance involved as well. I'm with the company about 7 years. Earliest memory of Black Box was getting a phone call from our landlord of our first premises saying about this wee company that had evolved and we're in need of someone with a bit of know-how to come in and help, and would I speak to them, which I did, and it mushroomed very fast. I left my other job within a week and came and worked with them. It's fast, enjoyable and innovative. It's a whole package. It's an enjoyable place to work. In 7 years, from being 3 people, 4 people, to over 100, it's seriously growth within a short time. Well, it went from the workshop in Black Box. This space that I'm sitting in was the size of the workshop. This was like 20 feet by 8 feet. And that was a saw, a weld machine, a grinder, and a table to make stuff on. I was making cross members, making wings, anything else that was needed to make a rig. We doubled the size of the workshop, which took a bit of, we had a working gym, so it took a bit of the gym away, and then it took another bit away, and then we made our first move into Titanic from that. So the first move wasn't so bad because, I mean, it at least doubled. It looked massive. Certainly the workshop increased by about 3 times. When we done the move, it was great with just the 2 of us. And then even in Titanic, in the THQ1, we took on maybe 2 or 3 more. So it got compacted very quick, and we outgrew that really fast. I seriously hope to see Black Box in our own building, that 3-story high or whatever it's going to be. I really, really hope, and I'll give them 10 years if that's what it is. I'm going to retire at 70, so after me, Miles came on board.
Met Greg in 2014. I dropped an email to this company called EFP Gyms. I had just come home from travelling for what I thought was a couple of weeks in Northern Ireland. They were selling sort of a bit of everything at the time, from protein supplements to wrist wraps. But I asked them if we would be interested in any CAD designs, specifically for sort of rigs and racks and things of that nature. So I think maybe a day later, 2 days later, we met up and had a chat and felt like a good fit. So yeah, joined EFP shortly after, and at the time it was just a couple of guys, and I think my first 3 months maybe were paid in a tub of out-of-date protein. This is my second move with Black Box. So I was in the original facility in Northumberland Street where we first started manufacturing, and then whenever we moved to Titanic, I remember the meeting where we agreed the facility in Titanic. It was mind-blowing at the time, and me and Greg thought, you know, we're going to be here for a long time. Signed a 10-year lease, and yeah, I think we outgrew it in 3. Favourite project to date? There's been a lot of memorable ones. think most rewarding probably happened last year whenever we installed Aston Villa's new performance facility. It was one of the biggest projects we'd ever done, and it was drawn out over a couple of years. Kind of COVID didn't really help, and there were a few logistical challenges. It was a huge build, but whenever we got that facility installed, and I remember watching the first couple of players come in and see them whenever they looked at it, and they just wanted to play with everything instantly, and the coaches started coming up with all of these, different exercises and drills, and balls were out and being kicked around, and they were mixing between sort of the on-pitch stuff and the strength stuff, and we were lucky enough just to sit back and kind of watch all of that unfold as the first time. That's wherever it was like, okay, we've done a good job here. One of the proudest moments during COVID was right at the point in time wherever home gyms were absolutely skyrocketing and dumbbells were the second biggest search term on Google behind toilet paper. Everyone was buying forward and getting crazy, and we were doing 12 to 16-hour days in the warehouse just trying to fulfill as many orders as possible and get all of this stock gone so that we could maybe just keep some money in the business and keep a few more people off furlough. And we had the MD, our head of finance, all of the engineering team down just packing boxes like non-stop, and I think that was, even though it was a difficult and challenging time, looking back on that, I think those are the moments where we became a better company. Built for athletes by athletes is kind of a bit of a saying which is developed within Black Box, and it's quite personal to each of us. We've got loads of really top tier athletes on the team, but we've also got the people who are everyday athletes, and you turn up at 5:30 in the morning at HQ here every day and work out just as hard as anyone else. And I think that is within the DNA of Black Box and is really intrinsic to sort of the products which we put out. It's the caring that we have the whole way through. So I think that built for athletes, we want to build it for ourselves, and built by athletes, and we're the people who use it every day, and we're the people building it. What makes Black Box great is the people. I kind of love whenever I'm in the sales office and I maybe hear one of the guys talking through a facility with a client, and I know that they're excited about the product that they're putting in, the CAD design that they've created. You can hear it in the tone of their voice and sort of the way they're talking about the facility. It's as if it's their own. And I know that there's so many projects that we've really been emotionally invested in. Likewise, you can walk into the engineering and design office in any given day and sort of hear maybe a heated debate over how we should make something, or the reason why we're changing this small piece of a design just to make something better, because we don't want to settle for an average product. And I think the fact that we have that passion within our team, especially over the small details, it's what makes Black Box great. I would like to see Black Box on more athletes throughout Europe. I think that's a great place to start. I don't want to forget where we came from, but I do think there's more people out there that we can help have great facilities and great home gyms.
And you missed my wee tattoo?
Through the camera, I didn't miss it. Through the camera.
You still got this on, you bastard? You're a ball bag. Well, there you go. There's the tattoo. One more. I couldn't describe Clock Fernham, one word.